Hi, Bridget. Uh, Thanks for joining Team AD, and I'm looking forward to helping you with your horse here. You come in, you're looking good. Horse is a bit uncollected and a little bit not quite paying attention to your legs. Your legs should stay in gear, but your upper body should be still. You have a tendency to pump your upper body to beg your horse to go rather than using your legs. I'd like to see your upper body still and your legs around your horse just a little bit more. But it's important you have this horse's attention before you come into the pen. Now as you ride to the middle, you get your legs really in gear, but your horse doesn't pay much attention to your legs as you're having to pump the horse to get to the center. Make sure you completely stop before you start. That's just a good way to show the judge that you're prepared in the center of the pen. In many of the patterns, and sometimes there's a penalty when it comes to not stopping before you start. See how your hand had to really rein that horse to the inside? That just means that horse isn't quite as attentive to the neck rein as it should be and could be more collected. But you're riding your circles really nice and round. Complete your circle before you stop. It didn't really look that sharp when you threw your feet away from your horse like that to stop. Your horse should be a little better about that. Now you're begging your horse to turn, and your horse is turning in a reverse arc. I like to see you look at your horse's inside eye as you turn around rather than moving your head to find your marker. If you watch, there are no professional riders that ever do that. You must know where your marker is and feel it as you come around, watching that horse's inside eye so you can keep him in better position. When you started off the first way, you kept the horse's shoulder up nicely, but this way the horse drops his shoulder to the inside and starts in a little rougher manner. It could be a little smoother if your horse paid attention to your neck rein a little more and lifted the inside shoulder like he did going the opposite direction. You ride your circles nicely. You could use a little more body in that slowdown so that there's a little better difference in your slowdown, meaning that you should sit a little deeper and release your inside leg, maintaining slight outside leg pressure. Again, you threw your feet out, distracting me as I'm watching you as a judge. Then your hand was a little quick and rough in that turnaround, and your horse did what we call travel in the turn. It didn't stay on the correct pivot foot. If you watch carefully in this turnaround, again, watch when your horse starts in the center and ends up off center. That's because the shoulder is dropped into the circle. Your hand's a little rough. Right there, he starts moving his rear end and changing his pivot feet. This horse should turn around better than that. He's sure capable of doing it, but when your hand's rough and you start the shoulder first, it doesn't look quite as good. Again, you had a rough departure right there because of the position your horse was in the turnaround and didn't quite stop straight. You ride your circles nicely. You find your markers well. Don't lean in to the lead change. You were ahead of your horse right there rather than staying in the middle of your horse as you lead changed, making it look not quite as smooth as it should. Come around, stay straight, keep your body straight, lift your hand up straight. That was a better change. Your horse's head reflected that. As you come around to the top of the circle, you should collect your horse just a little bit and get ready to run down straight. Your horse is leaning to the right a little bit right here, and you should use your right leg a little more aggressively. Then you really fell back and threw your feet out and made it look rough again. If you watch this again, you'll see if you'd sit straight down and release your heels downward rather than forward, sitting deep in your saddle. So the cue to stop is run, ride, sit, say whoa, and then pick up. You kind of do it all at the same time. And then you're a little bit lean and rough-handed in the rollback. You should allow the horse to gather themselves and come through themselves. Again, if your horse was a little better off the neck rein and followed its head, when you touch the left side of the neck, the head should go to the right. And that's why you have a rough lead change. Little better stop, but your timing was just a little bit off right there, meaning you need to ride all the way to the stop and sit deep, say whoa, and then pick up in that sequence. Now, if you watch this stop carefully, you'll see what I mean. Ride, right leg, your horse is leaning to the right just a little too much. Sit, your hand went first right there. So what I'd like to see you do is practice so that your hand is the last thing to go. Ride, sit, say whoa, and then pick up. Your horse backs up good and finishes the pattern nicely. A few of these things, having your horse a little more attentive, a little more bridled up, a little more paying attention to the neck rein, and you using your feet rather than your upper body will really help.